Viewer discretion is advised.
Clashes between police and protesters leave at least 4 dead in Cameroon.
Till you bury the last one. Till the last one is buried. I'm out here. I'm out here.
In this footage, soldiers are clearly seen setting homes alight.
What you just saw on the screen might have shocked you. In reality, this is what daily life looks like in the English-speaking part of Cameroon. When I walk down the streets of my hometown, Bamenda, I see extreme violence. Teenagers who have been dropped to become child soldiers, dead bodies carelessly thrown by sidewalks and in the rivers. The human rights atrocities are worsening every day, and violence has come to a peak whereby mere killing is not enough anymore. Dead bodies are desecrated and set on fire, and that is the extent of the anger and the hatred among the youth. There is an ongoing civil war in the English-speaking part of Cameroon. Youth's vulnerability and involvement in this armed violence are leading to death, trauma, displacement, destruction, and horrible abuses of human rights. According to UNICEF, every 7 minutes somewhere in the world, a youngster loses his life as a result of violence. That means by the time I'm done with this presentation, we would have lost yet another young person. And this can be in the English-speaking part of Cameroon, where several thousands of youth are already bearing arms. And if nothing is done, thousands more will likely join. But why are youth so prone to risks and violence? Those of us who have passed through this age, we know youth age comes with a lot of changes. Hormonal, intellectual, psychological, and social. And these changes trigger in youth the quest to explore, to search for identity and struggle for independence. Even though this is a natural situation, but sometimes it is made worse by other factors, such as youth marginalization and unemployment, which often come with a lot of great frustration and discontent among the youth. It could also be politicians and warlords who take advantage of this frustration and the youthful energy to incite and manipulate youth into acts of violence. Also, it could be personal traumatizing events in the life of this youth, such as their inability to find a job, the loss of a loved one, or even violence in their family setting, as was my case when I was a youngster. Let me tell you a story. I grew up in a polygamous family. There were several instances of violence. I remember one day, I saw my mother lamenting with tears running down her face. "Oh no, where are the bananas that I kept in this kitchen? These monsters have eaten all my bananas." She was referring to my stepbrothers. It is preferable to die than live in such a toxic environment. I rushed to console my mother, but she kept on sobbing, and I could not bear seeing her in that mood. I picked up a stick sizable enough to kill, and I went after the banana thieves. But that day, the hunter became the hunted. Before I could hit one of my stepbrothers with a stick, he rather picked up a machete and wounded me seriously. I started losing blood, became unconscious, and was rushed to the hospital. When I got up from the hospital bed, I had to question the whole situation. What was I really trying to achieve through violence? If I had died perpetrating violence for some mere bananas, wouldn't have it been the death of a fool? And after that incident, I disliked violence. When I got into the university to study law and political science, I was exposed to the philosophies of some renowned peace activists. Then I built passion for peace building. This led me to start an initiative in my community to promote peace and human rights through awareness. In 2016, the Civil War started, and things rapidly moved into a deplorable state, just as I presented at the beginning. Something needed to be done that goes beyond just awareness. Then I founded Ndabuchiseh. Ndabuchiseh is a word in my mother tongue. In English, it means the Peacebuilders Center. Ndabuchiseh is that center where idle youth are taken out of violence into a residential setting in a non-violent environment to enable them recalibrate, develop their vital peace-building and livelihood skills, and then re-enter their communities as veritable agents of sustainable peace and development. Let me walk you through our curriculum briefly. When these youth come to our center, we will begin with a thorough psychosocial assessment to be able to determine the need and the degree of such needs, and also to be able to determine those who can play leadership role in the lives of this youth. Once this assessment is done, we will start building the inner peace of this youth through counseling and also personal peace practices. These efforts will be sustained throughout the 9 months of our training through one-on-one and group therapy. As they begin working in their inner lives, we will introduce self-employment and entrepreneurial skills in the fields of renewable energy, organic farming, community health, and forest conservation. We have not just chosen these livelihoods just for the mere fact that they can generate income. Moreover, these are skills that can be practiced in a mindset of peace and also give the youth a higher purpose of making their community and the environment better. Once they get passionate about these newfound professions, we slowly inculcate in this youth interpersonal peace practices skills. Yes, they will get to work in groups, and we will ensure that they develop empathy, tolerance, compassionate listening, the ability to communicate assertively yet non-aggressively. After this stage, we will now begin to prepare this youth to go back and thrive in their communities. In our center, they must have tested this peaceful, joyous, and productive life. But they are still lacking what it takes for them to go back and share this life in the communities. So at this juncture, we will introduce this youth into community peace practices skills such as dialogue, mediation, negotiation, peer education, counseling, nonviolent action, just to name these few. And finally, before this youth, they leave our center, we will make sure that they have a thorough and a solid business plan at hand, and every other tool that is necessary for them to build lasting peace in their lives and in their communities. At Ndabuchiseh, we envision youth becoming resilient peace advocates, standing up against any form of violence, either at homes, in schools, or in any outbreaks of wars. What we really long to see again is our village communities to be able to gather again around the fire, sing, dance, celebrate the festivals, the weddings, tell stories to each other, and listen to the wisdom of the elders. In our town, we long to see clean streets again, bustling shops, street arts, and most of all, purpose-driven youth contributing to a thriving and peaceful society. Thank you all.